What's up, fam? Welcome back again to Recap Kickback. It's me, Chappell, and we're back again to talk about more of Netflix's Pop the Balloon Live. It's episode 5, and with me again to talk about this balloon popping and a very bisexual episode, it's Chantele. Chantele, welcome.
Hi. I was very surprised by it being a bisexual episode. Interesting choice by Netflix. I'm interested in talking about it. I just realized I didn't blow up a balloon, so I will probably
Okay.
blow up a balloon at some point.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, it depends. I don't know. Like, I think if we're gonna pop, we gotta blow up the balloon. But if it's just like if it's the lock, then maybe you don't have to do it. It'll be a symbolic locking. But we'll talk it through because if you've been keeping up, Chantel and I have been tracking Netflix's Pop the Balloon as we have both been fans of the YouTube version of Pop the Balloon. So we came to check it out on Netflix. We started on Nothing But Netflix podcast, and here we are, 5 episodes in on Recap Kickback, talking about these daters, talking about their experiences, and then also getting in each other's business, as we like to say here. Officially, the official slogan of Recap Kickback's Pop the Balloon coverage. And so, Chantel, you're right. This was an interesting choice from Netflix. I thought that obviously representation is cool. Love to see, them giving like, an underrepresented population, like a platform on a dating platform, right? On a dating show, because you don't see a lot of bisexual dating shows. There's definitely a few standouts, but not a lot of them. And so this time we got a new crop of daters of both genders, or at least two genders. And then we get to see what happens when people start, revealing their red flags, their icks, and all that stuff, and see who remains. But Chantel, the first thing that stood out to me as a problem with this format was that it just looks like they found just like any bisexual they could find. Like, why is the age range of these people like 23 to 35?
Well, they kind of always do that. We have noticed that there's always
crazy.
The young ones. Like, I think last week it was 24 and 36. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they kind of seem to like having a diverse age range as well. Now, of course, I agree with you with representation, having the queer population being represented on TV. Everybody deserves to find love. I totally am with that. But my issue with it is that I feel like Netflix is casting out too many nets. You know what I mean? It's like, you learn in marketing, or if you're trying to promote, like, you kind of have to focus on one thing and maybe do that well instead of like spreading and splitting your focus. Because I think if there was any sort of audience that was coming from what the 4 episodes before were offering, they might not be the same audience that episode 5 would be to watch, and they might have just lost their audience. You know what I mean? They might have gained a new audience, maybe, but like I feel as though they should have stuck to one thing. And that's what I think is the popularity with the original Pop the Balloon is she did one thing. Black folks looking for love. That's it. Yeah. And it was successful. And I think that they should have maybe realized that part of the success was being very clear and focused on the intention of who her target market was.
No, that's a good point. I think that if you look at the show and you're coming in being like, I'm single and I want to see what the dating pool looks like for me, right? So you're probably coming in and you're looking for your population. And so the straight people are going to see that in the first 4 episodes. But in this episode, if they're not, if they're not bisexual or queer, maybe they're going to look at this and be like, oh, this isn't for me. Now, obviously, the bisexual people can date whoever they would like to as far as gender concerned, like, whichever one. And so it doesn't really write them off, but I can definitely see what you're saying, where it's like, okay, I came here for this thing, and now you're throwing in an extra added bonus into the mix, but not necessarily something I might not want to sit here and watch for 30 minutes because it doesn't pertain to me. And so maybe that's probably what was going on. But I enjoyed it for sure because again, I like variety. I very much would like for the show to take big swings if you're going to do something, but also like you said, have a focus and a clear point of view. And this show, to me, the issue is the point of view. I think sometimes it's a love show, a dating show. At times it's just a hookup kind of show. And then, sometimes it's just which reality star can we get on here to publicize whatever they have going on or to draw attention to what they have going on passively. And we will talk about that a lot in this episode. So 5 episodes in, Chantele, and we're still switching it up.
Yeah, we're still switching up because I just don't think that they know who their identity is, like who they are, what they're trying to be, what they're trying to do. And I think it's the lack of focus is it's just a problem for me. It makes it just too disjointed. I don't know what I'm coming here for. I watched it. I enjoyed it to a certain extent. But I don't know. It was only okay though.
Well, let's talk about these okay daters and let's get inside each other's business because we have a new slew of daters and we have a new lineup as well. And so our first dater, who I'm sure you're familiar with, is Demi from the Bachelor franchise and more recently got to get out. Chantele, are you familiar with Demi from previous shows?
Of course. She was on Colton's season of The Bachelor, and then she was on I believe 2 seasons of Bachelor in Paradise. On one of the seasons, she did end up leaving with or no, a girl that she was dating before came to the Bachelor in Paradise, and then they left together. So she was dating a girl. Her name was Christian for a while. And then I think did she go back? She might have went back on Bachelor in Paradise or something, or maybe hosting, or can't come back on as like personality. And then obviously I saw her and got to get out. So I mean, Demi was fine. She was definitely personality, she's quirky, kind of funny. Recently she did come out as being on the spectrum, and so that was like kind of a big part of her a shift in her presence online and in the public eye. And so yeah, she's okay. Yeah, she's fine.
I didn't know who she was a month ago, and now I've seen her on 3 different shows.
What's
I
the
think
third?
No, I've seen her on 2 shows and I've heard about her on 3 different shows because I've now heard about the whatever. But yeah, it's like I think she's having a moment. I think she's kind of making her rounds in the reality TV sphere again. Like I'm sure Colton season was years ago, but I mean for her to still be front of mind, I think that's a good thing for somebody who's making a career as a content creator, as she will tell us in this episode. As you said, she's also spreading autism awareness as she is on the spectrum. And she's 30 from Texas, currently lives in LA. And what she's looking for, Chantele, she likes to be fed. Now, this will be a point of contention amongst this first lineup of daters because she wants to be fed. And everybody's not feeders. Some people are the feedee, the fed. Chantele, do you want to be fed? Are you a cooker? Do you like to be cooked for?
I like both, to be honest. Okay. I know that's like a really generic answer, but I love going out to dinner. I love when people make me things. When I go home, it's so fun because like my mom loves making me food. I'm like, I know I can cook for myself, but she loves making me food and I love accepting it, But then also I do, because of like I've worked in restaurants and I do go out to restaurants all the time. I like making good food because seeing someone happy with something that I've made, it also feels good to me. So I'm a person that one of my love language is acts of service. I do feel like making food for someone is an act of service. So I do love to give and receive that act.
Your mama Jamaican, huh? She be cooking like okay, what she be cooking? Let's need to know. Just in case I'm ever in the area. Yeah, just in case I'm ever in the area.
That's the treat that she always makes me is ackee and saltfish.
Okay. Write that down. Yeah, if I'm ever in the area and I'm like, hey, Chantele, tell your mama to throw something on the, like, yeah, hook me up. You know what I'm saying? That'll definitely work for me.
She loves you, so she probably would.
Hey, that works. Mom, if you're listening to this, hi. Me, I do like to eat. I do. But I don't necessarily need to be cooked for. I think that as long as we are eating, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't really care how the food gets to me. Okay, if I gotta cook it, if you gotta cook it, if we gotta go out to eat, I don't really care as long as I'm eating. Now the problem is I eat a lot. Like I am a fat boy, okay? Like I love it. I just love food. I wake up thinking about food. I go to sleep thinking about food sometimes, and it's just a thing that I do. So if you're not gonna eat a lot, then that's fine. Just stay out of my way while I do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really have a huge issue with this, but she does seem like she's looking for someone to cook. She's not going to cook. Her mom was in prison and never taught her how to cook. And she also talks about some red flags. And her red flag is basically other content creators. If you are trying to be TikTok famous, if you have an Instagram that you're trying to promote or whatever, she wants you to know that her side comes first. And we get a lot of pops after this comment about social media. What did you think about this comment, though, that she wants her Instagram to be the primary focus?
I think she was subtly saying she doesn't want a clout chaser, right? Because like if somebody wants to date her because she has like, I don't know, 1 million followers on Instagram or whatever, you know, I think like if somebody wants to use her as a stepping stone, that's kind of would give me the ick as well, you know? So it's kind of like I wouldn't really want to date another actor because like there might be a little bit of a competitive thing. Like I don't know, just like or like, you know, oh, they're getting a lot of work. Not that I wouldn't want to feel happy for them. Maybe like you'd feel like, well, what about me? Like, so I think that I think there's a combination of things going on with her. I think she doesn't necessarily want someone to like latch onto her and try to clout chase. And then I think she also doesn't want to compete with somebody for the space.
Yeah, this wouldn't bother me at all. Go be TikTok famous, leave me alone. You know, like I'm good. I don't have to. I'm a firm believer that we don't have to have the same.
Would you take the videos? Would you be the Instagram boyfriend?
No. You do. No, see, that's the thing. You do you. I don't have to be a part of that. You know, one thing I've learned, Chantele, is that I have very niche interests. You know, I'm here watching a ton of reality TV. I love Survivor. You know, it's not a lot. Back in the day, it wasn't a lot of Black folks watching these shows with us. You know what I'm saying? So so I've come to terms with some of this stuff. I'm a like by myself, and that's okay. You know, I don't need you to come enjoy the events with me. I don't need you to watch the show with me. We don't have to sit down and win. If we can, that's perfect. But if not,
would you want to do like,
fine.
you know, there's some like couples that host a podcast together, or like the 5 for 5 with Rob and Nicole. Like, would you ever want to do something like that?
Maybe if she's down for that, like if she likes it. But I'm not. What I'm saying is, don't go out of your way to pretend like you like something that I like. Let me enjoy my stuff, and then we can enjoy each other whenever you want to. But like, you can enjoy your stuff. You know, if you like to garden and do all kinds of stuff outside, go have fun. I have allergies. I'll be inside. But if you expect for me to be out there with the shovel, or if you expect for me to be in the background with the camera on for your Instagram reels, I'm not the guy. I'm not him. You know. So, you know, this didn't sound awful to me. But we did get a lot of pops.
Okay.
We lose Carousel 29. She says,
do you recognize her?
No, I don't. Where is this woman from?
Sexy Beast.
Then how did you recognize her? Because they were wearing, which prosthetic was she wearing?
I can't remember which one. But she went on to Perfect Match season 1, and she left dating Joey Sasso from you don't watch The Circle. But but it was a winner of, I think it was season 1 of that. And so they dated for a while, actually. And she was besties with Francesca. You know Francesca. She was on the original Too Hot to Handle. She's Canadian. She was so they were on the same season of Perfect Match, and they were like really good friends on that show. Anyways. So
no, I definitely did not recognize her at all. I'm glad you did though. Like recognizing somebody from Sexy Beast is crazy. You know, like, but that was such a good pull. I thought that's so cool. Yeah, she was the panda in Sexy Beast. I
know you watched that show, so you covered it. You covered it.
I definitely watched it and covered it, but I'm always shocked when other people did, because Sexy Beast felt like it was a very COVID show. You know, like a show that you kind of had to be in a special place and time to actually get that. Even the fact that they filmed it, it was very COVID too. But let me see if I can find a picture of Carousel on Sexy Beast, because if you haven't seen Sexy Beast, the premise is that they are dating, but it's like blind dating. And to make sure that you're looking for love and not you know, physical attractiveness, they're wearing masks and costumes. And so this is Carousel on Sexy Beast as the panda.
You recognize the panda though.
Yeah, I've seen this panda before, definitely, but I Carousel. So okay, cool. Well, we got another pop star in the mix. We will have a few more to talk about in this episode as well. Next we have Destiny. She pops because she's a bad cook. She says, you know, I need somebody to cook for me. I like to be fed too. And now the two of them start bonding over not wanting to cook for somebody. I felt like Demi had a lot of chemistry with some of the people that popped their balloons for her. I really felt like they should have given her a little bit more time.
I do too. I mean, I think she's super cute. I loved her dress personally. And I felt that like, even if I mean, I guess the purpose is to pop your balloon, whatever, like that's the name of the show. But I kind of would just be like, oh, let me see how this goes. Maybe I'll go on a date with her. Like, she's cute enough that her red flags are not that bad. Like, is it really that horrible that she doesn't want to date another influencer? Like, it's not that bad that she wants to eat food that you cook. Like, that's not that bad. But anyways.
One thing I noticed was that the more that people popped their balloons and started to question her, the more nervous she got. And you can kind of tell that like maybe like some social awkwardness started to kick in because she starts rambling. And I think the more she started to ramble, the more balloons would pop and people would start questioning like, I think I can get out of here. Again, this is the first dater of the entire episode. So we know there are other people coming. And I do think that maybe in the first date, you're a little bit more conservative about, okay, is this somebody I'm really going to go out on a limb with? Or do I want to see what's potentially coming next? At least that's how I felt. So people were willing to take a risk on passing for Demi so they could see what the other options were.
Fair. Yeah. One thing that I wish that they would do, and this might even help solve any of these episodes. Like, yes, I was saying that I think they should be focused on one target market, but if they're not, I think if they were more focused on actually building connections, I think that they would also have a better hit, right? If like, so if it was all queer people that potentially could be interested in each other, because like I wouldn't necessarily aesthetically put any of these people together. So I'm like, so there's that. And then like all of a sudden none of their values meet up. They don't really live in the same state. Like, there's just so many roadblocks that I'm like, if they tried harder to find a match, I think that the show would be more successful. And then it would be like more dramatic if like, oh my God, I thought we were really getting along. And then the balloon gets popped. Like really, I don't know. It'd be better, I think. So
yeah. We also didn't get any updates on anybody in the past we really liked that. But yeah, so I too, I kind of wish that they would focus more on finding some compatible people because like I said, Demi got a lot of pops so early on that you wonder if they hadn't popped, maybe they were more compatible. We just didn't find out. Nelson is 32. He will pop. He says he's thick and he likes to eat. And she says, oh yeah, cool. I think the cooking should be about 70% to 30% cooking. He said, nah, I'm good on that. And so
math. I'm like,
yeah, he's like, I'm not doing math. All it sounds like is you want me to do most of the cooking, and I'm not about that life. Serafina also pops. She says she's looking for someone who will match her freak, but also will match the cooking situation. She says 50-50 is what she's looking for. Then, Chantele, we get Winnie from the Trust. I was like, hey!
Like, I was looking at her, I was like, who is she? And then I was like, I figured it out.
I feel like people didn't give the Trust enough credit. You remember the show?
Of course I do.
Yeah,
I think the Trust is pretty good.
It was good. Nobody talks about it. We rarely see these people popping up on other shows. Justice for Winnie and
Tolu came up on Perfect Match.
Everybody be on Perfect Match apparently, because if you got the Sexy Beast people on there, they don't care. Put Tolu on the Traitors, coward. Cowards.
I would love her on the Traitors.
Yeah.
Is she someone that's going to be coming on this show? I feel like she's in another show, or she's supposed to come on another show. I don't know. But anyways, I was really surprised, or like happily surprised to see Winnie here. And I was like, okay, this is fun. Like I wanted to see her getting more opportunity because she was I thought she was a star from that show.
Yeah, she from the hometown too. I was like, okay, you're from the area. She lives in Houston. Okay. I was like, let me go see about it. So she is distraught. Demi is distraught because she sees that Winnie has popped. I would have felt the same way. Like, girl, no, blow your balloon back up. What happened? What'd I say? Apparently, Winnie was not down with wanting to be in competition with another influencer when it comes to brand building. And so this does feel like, again, I think if Demi could have it back, she would have definitely like not asked that question because it really eliminated what looked like people who could have been at least interested in going on a date with her.
Well, maybe they're popping for the plot, but like they know that they can, they can figure it out if they really wanted to date after the show. So maybe, they're trying to make a more interesting episode. All these reality stars are producing their own episodes, their own fucking segments, right? So
yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe after the show they link up and exchange social information. You never know. But
I do want to know if Cinco and Zaina, or what's
Zaina?
Zaina?
Yeah.
If they're still talking, I want to know.
We got nothing. We got nothing from them. We got nothing from our any of our other pairs. Bring them back. Bring back our matches
from Netflix. Jesus.
Yeah, let's bring them back. So we also get Damian. He is 23. He has daddy tattooed on his neck. and he says, I don't have social media, and since I don't have social media, I don't think we would work because you clearly think that that's very important. He basically misread her question or misunderstood her question. But to me, I don't know, Chantele, if someone doesn't have social media, would that make you feel a way if they don't have any social media?
It's well, at his age, I would say yes. I have a
Yeah.
friend that's like 47
Mhm.
and he's like, I hate social media. I don't want it, whatever. And I was like, that's fine. You don't have to
Right.
have it. But you can't get mad if people are playing the game that you don't want to be a part of the game. Like,
Yeah.
so he's a director and like, he's a talented actor, director, all this stuff. And he doesn't want to get social media. And I'm like, but it's kind of your calling card. If somebody
Yeah.
hears about you, they take a look and see, like, oh, let me see what his social media looks like. Who does he know? Who knows him? Do I have friends that know him? Like, oh, is somebody I know work? Like, it's just a bit of a calling card at this card or a business card at this point. And so I think, yes, you can take social media breaks. Like sometimes people spend too much time on it. I get it. It can suck energy and life out of you sometimes if you're too immersed. But I kind of think I like staying within the times. I do never want to fall out of what's current. Like I want to be at the top of that. And so it would give me a little bit of the ick, just being like, so you're just in the past. Like you're not innovative. You're not moving forward. So
Not current.
yeah, not current. Like,
Yeah.
I would give you the ick
No,
probably.
that's a good point. I never thought about it. But when you put it like that, it's like when you see something funny on social media, you naturally want to tell people about it and show people about it. And it's like if you have a significant other who doesn't have social media at all, it's like, damn, I was going to send you this funny meme, but I guess I'll show it to you when I see you.
Oh,
Or I saw a TikTok earlier and I thought about you, but I guess I'll send it to you. Like, it's like it makes things a little bit more complicated when you put it like that.
I have a friend that she likes social media, but she doesn't want to download TikTok because she gets too sucked in. So
Oh
I
yeah, that's me.
kind of let that slide a little bit because she always sends me the same TikTok story that I saw like a year ago on
Uh-huh.
Instagram, be like, haha, is this so funny? I'm like, that's so old news, but okay, yeah, it was funny. But anyways,
Mhm.
if I want to send her something on TikTok, I do screen record it for her to just send her the video,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
really whack, but like, yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
have to do that.
So my secret shame is that since the TikTok was created, I remember I got on TikTok because everybody
Yeah.
was doing it, and I lasted about 4 hours before I said I can't do this because I'm overstimulated and I'll be in TikTok. I will be in it. You see how deep I am in Twitter, or I used to be in Twitter. And so like imagine that TikTok. It was just like the longest day ever. It flew by. I was just watching random videos, whatever. So recently, it got to the point where there are some videos that you basically can't watch without the app. Like if people will send you something, like you have to basically go to the app, or you need to log in online to watch it on. You can't just click it and play it like you could like a public Twitter video or something like that. And so for months, people have been sending me TikToks, and I've just been LOLing and haha,
You
and
never
I've
quit
not.
watching it.
I couldn't open them, and so recently I revamped the Recap Kickback TikTok account. We've been posting a little bit more on there now, and so I got the app because I needed it, and now
You're back.
I can see the stuff. But yes, but for months I've been like exclamation point, haha, like, and I've
Oh my
not
god, you've
watched
been
any of those
faking
clips.
your TikTok
I have
viewership.
been. It's like if I gotta go online to do it, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just not. I don't really like to be connected to my phone like that. As
I
crazy
know,
as
I
it
get it.
sounds.
Like, there's people that don't like that. I do get
Yeah.
that. Like, if it's taking away from actually having real thoughts and connections with other people, of course. Like, I'm a people
Yeah.
person. I like hanging out in person. Like, yeah. But I also really like technology. I like with
Yeah.
the things moving forward. I like advancing things. I just like that forward momentum. And
Mhm.
so I can, well, no, it would probably bother me though. If they're, wait, no, if they're just someone that doesn't want to have TikTok because it takes too much of their time, or whatever. I just don't want somebody that's going to be like, oh, like, oh, you're on TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Why
want
you on
any
social
sort of
media?
like
Yeah. Don't
judgment
shame me.
on it. Exactly.
Right. Right. No, that's understandable. So yeah, he ends up popping because he's just like, I'm not on social media. It sounds like that's important to you. So through that, we only have two people left. Demi didn't get through two questions before we're down to the final two. And that's why I'm saying it's down to two people. She asked them each a question. She asked, what is it that you do in the community? do you like to give back to the community? Megan says she's into rescuing animals. Noe says, I'm a stripper, but I like to mentor kids in juvie. And she ends up popping his balloon. She says he's still young and she probably wouldn't be able to trust him because he's dressed a little loose, you know. His shirt is unbuttoned.
His conservative look.
Yeah, I mean he is a stripper, so you know. I mean,
didn't he say exotic dancer?
Ain't that the same? You know, like I just really feel like when you say exotic, I'm assuming you stripping, and so I think that the moment he said that, she probably was like, "Oh, okay, you 23 years old, you in a strip club, you probably still outside," even though he said he wants to lock it down. But Chantele, that quickly, we got through all the daters, and she was down to one question for Megan. So she ends up asking her, if we're at a concert, where are we standing? And I thought this was such a good question. And then I was very sad to see that it was the last question that Megan and Demi will have ask each other before they have to choose if they're going to pop or lock.
Well, also, though, I understood the question perfectly, and I didn't understand why Yvonne didn't understand the question.
I think it was just like a long way around, like the question. I think she was just kind of like trying to ask, like, do you like to be in the crowd or outside of the crowd, right? That's kind of where I got. And Yvonne sounded like she was like, wait, why are you asking at a concert? I think she is kind of over the Demi situation. I think a lot of the rambling and a little like, you know, I think it got a little awkward for Yvonne, and she was just trying to rush through this one.
Okay, because I just was like, I understood what
it's a decent question.
Yeah, I was like, I get it. Like, I definitely, when I was younger, I used to be a raver, and
Shocker.
Shocker, is it shocker?
No, it's not.
I used to sneak out of my house.
You and I are very similar. We like to party. I don't know what to tell you.
That's true. I used to sneak out of my house at like 15 and take like public transport like all the way downtown to go and get on a shuttle bus and go to like some meatpack district, like fuck nowhere. Anyways, so I was a raver. And I would always, people would know where to find me at a rave because I would always be dancing in front of the right speaker or on the stage. And so I remember one time I was like, I'll do my rave dancing. And I was on the stage and I had this group of people that were like on the floor in front of me. They're like, we only come to raves to find you. And they're all like, just like, we come and look for, like, so they know where to find me. And they come and like, they're like trying to find me so they can dance with me at a rave. So, you know, I understood what it means to like have like a certain place where you go when you go to some like big party or concert. It made perfect sense to me. But nowadays I'd probably want maybe like a go-go dancing platform because, you know, I'm a go-go dancer. So like that would probably be the best because I would want to have room to move.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm very similar, but there's like the small difference is that like when I'm around people I don't know, I get very like, you know, I get kind of like it like in my bubble. But when music starts playing, my bubble just becomes my bubble of me dancing. And so like everybody else around me is just kind of like, you're not there. I don't really know what's happening with y'all. Like I'm just kind of in my, don't let me have my sunglasses on or be intoxicated. I'm like, I might as well be invisible. I don't really know what y'all are doing. Right. Like I just find me in my space by myself. But like, I don't mind being in the mix. And I think there are a lot of people who really get overwhelmed by that type of, you know, environment of being in the mix. Demi was like, hey, I don't think you're going to like my answer, but I like to be as far away from the people as possible. And Megan liked that. Whereas I'm like, I don't mind being far from the people as long as I can hear the music. But I'm going to be wherever the music is best. And that's where I'm going to be. Like, I need to be next to the speaker, like by the speaker, by where I don't have to be around people, but I got to have my vibe going. And so I totally understand that.
I used to remember I used to be like, I just need to have my space. So I'd just
be like, just my little room. No, I totally get that. I went to a rave last year.
They still exist?
Yeah, well, I was never a raver as a youth. And so last year I went to a wedding, telling all that business, but I went to a Survivor player's wedding. And then after the wedding, we all went bar hopping, kind of like a reception type thing, bar hopping. And then after the bar hopping, you know, me, who doesn't know how to go home, was like, what are we about to do next? And then people started saying, oh, we're going to go to a rave. I said, oh, well, I want to go to the rave. And so I look up and next thing I know, I'm at a rave with some of the survivors from the new era. And I had time of my life. I was like, this is great. I can do this all night because it's just music and me. I don't really care what's going on around me. I had a great time. So I kind of regret not being a raver. But I didn't listen to the same type of music when I was younger. When I was younger, I was very much like very much into hip hop and like R&B, like where it's like there's a very different environment when it comes to just like dancing. Whereas like you give me some house music or something like that now, oh, you done lost me. I'm in the wind now. I'm out there having a good time. So I totally understand.
When I was a raver, it was like when progressive house was the thing. And so like
Mm-hmm.
I loved progressive house with vocals. And so the vocals would always be like some R&B vocals. And I know the whole song, all the words, and then like it just like have the build up and you're like, so
Yeah.
progressive house, I
Yeah.
think you'd probably have liked because sometimes they would have like singers that would be singing live at these raves and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, I think you would enjoy progressive house. It's not only like ambient kind of music.
Yeah, no, I think look, we speak the same language when it comes to partying. And again, we partied before plenty of times, Chantele. So I'm not learning anything new here. So yeah, after one question, we have to ask if it's a pop or a lot for Megan and Demi, and they both say, yeah, it's a lot. But I'm thinking, you don't know anything about her at all. Like I don't think they made, aside from that question, Chantele, what did she learn like that was meaningful enough to say, like, sure, let's do it? Or was she just the last person standing?
I mean, I do think that they both found each other to be attractive. And
Yeah.
so I think that that was enough to warrant going on a date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Like,
I don't think it's like they're going to necessarily spend their life together and they had that zing, but I think that
mhm.
they were willing to, I don't know, hang out and watch
Yeah.
Wicked too.
Oh yeah. Definitely gonna watch Wicked. That's they bonded over that. Demi will say later on that she really enjoyed that Megan didn't write her off so quickly and gave her a chance. And yeah, they start to talk, and it seems like they do have a few things in common. So we shall see what happens with them later on. But now we have to move to our next dater. And this is so funny. So Arian comes out, and I don't know if he did like if he was limping or if there was like a little step he did, but boom, we get a pop there, and then he says, "I'm 29 from Memphis and I've never been in a relationship." Boom, we get more pops. And he's looking for someone who can complete him and can be his other piece. Now, if somebody has never been in a relationship, Chantele, is that a red flag for you?
Well, it depends on what not been a relationship means. Does it mean like not been
Hmm.
in a long-term relationship? Because he kind of explained it at the end, but like it didn't really fully make sense. Like I want to know what that means. Has he been on lots of dates? Has he just been focusing on career? Like I would like to know a little bit more as to like the circumstances around it, or is it just that he's a complete commitment phobe or he has a lot of baggage and like I don't know, like I need to know more as to why he's in that position. I don't think I'd fully write them off if that's the case, but I would have a few more questions.
Yeah, well, Winnie writes him off immediately and says he's not muscular enough. And to that, I say, Winnie, I've been in the gym. I promise. I just give me like a few more months, and I'm
Maybe,
gonna be there.
maybe she's gonna start coming to more events. Maybe you're
And
gonna,
look,
yeah.
she deadlifts 325. I do not, and so just give me some months. I'll be there. Okay, I was like, yeah, I'll run through a wall. Yeah.
Are you gonna do 75 hard for her? You're gonna do it
Oh,
early during the summer?
yeah, I got to. Like we're in the heat of the day. If it'll get Winnie's attention, then sure, yeah, whatever. And I'll do it. Whatever, I don't care. But yeah, she wrote him off. He's too small. We also meet Aletta, and she's 28, and she pops her balloon too. She says she works in like she's working on her own clothing brand. She lives in San Diego, and she doesn't want to be his first relationship. Now, this is important to me because there are several people who will say this. Uh, and by the end, we will see somebody, the last person, pop their balloon and say the same exact thing. Now, I just want to know if someone tells you that this is their first, they've never been in a relationship, and you know that that's something you don't want. Why you wait to the end to pop your balloon? What were you doing?
Well, maybe they want more screen time.
Yeah, yeah.
It all comes down to that in the end, I think. Um, or maybe they're seeing whether or not something else would draw. Like, I think they're just basically not attracted to them and use it as an excuse later on. But they're just kind of waiting
Yeah.
to see how it went, probably. And clout,
Hmm. And a little bit of clout. Yeah.
a little bit of clout.
Our young stripper Noe says he's not teaching somebody how to date, so he taps out. Damian doesn't really like the response. First of all, let me go back to Noe. Noe, you're 23. What you mean you're not teaching nobody how to date? You don't know nothing. I'm sorry. It's something like,
no way
I'm an
that he
elder
knows
now.
anything.
Yeah, I'm an elder now. Man, when I was 23, I knew everything. But y'all kids don't know nothing. You know, like y'all know what y'all talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand maybe he's in a more of a fluid lifestyle, maybe. And he wouldn't want to have to deal with somebody that maybe wanted something a little bit more monogamous. I don't know. I'm trying to like make an excuse as to what Noe is saying here, but I really wouldn't take any advice from a 23-year-old. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's like, I'm sorry to 23-year-olds listening to this. We just don't take it seriously. All right, so Arian gets to ask some questions, and this is an interesting question. So I'm going to shoot it back to you, Chantele. If your friends had to give you a warning label, what would the warning label say?
That I don't know when to go home.
She will be up the latest.
I will be last to sleep. I will be last to go home. Yeah, that could be my toxic trait. But I think it's because, like, if I'm not in a relationship, I'm like I want to hang out with people. I want to, but if there's somebody at home, then maybe I'll be more inclined to go home,
Yeah. Okay.
Or stay together. But I'll think of that one. I'll think of another one as well. But what do you got?
Definitely that. Oh man, there's probably too many of them. Because to me, I feel like I come off pretty unassuming, and then people are always shocked when they find out stuff about me, and I'm like, if there was a label that you could put on me, then I think that would help. Like, for one, I'm a lot more intense than I probably let on. I think in initial meetings, people really think I'm kind of chill, and in reality, I'm like a nut. So
an Aries stellium over here for the girls
right.
and gents that know.
You're right, but that's the thing. I think that there's a lot of intensity there, and people just see the grin and think, "Oh, this is nice. This is normal." And I'm like, you don't understand what you're getting yourself into, So there's that. I'm definitely a person who doesn't know when to stop. I'm like, I don't know when to go home. I'm one of those people as well. When I'm ready to go home, I go. But a lot of times I'm the last one out. You ain't got to ever worry about me being like, "Hey guys, let's leave." Like, it's not me. But one of the biggest warnings, I guess I would say, is I'm a flight risk. I've said this before on this podcast. If I'm not having a good time, peace. And you can apply that to anything. I'm talking about in life, in love, in dating, whatever. If I'm not having a good time, you ain't got to worry about me too much longer. So.
Okay, I think I thought of another warning label for myself.
Okay, go for it.
My face doesn't hide if I'm pissed, know it. Yeah, like it's just like, I mean, like my best friend can read me. She would just be like, "Oh, what happened?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that could be bad. That sometimes that I might be upset and people can tell.
So in my experience, it's because you and I'll include myself in this as well, because I've gotten that feedback before. It's because we smile a lot. We're big on grinning. We're smiling, and so when we're not, it's very noticeable. It's kind of like we have resting, smiling face. And then when we're not, people are like, "Wait, what's happening? What's wrong with you?" It's like, hey, okay. I was just thinking, like I didn't know it was that deep, but they can read all over your face that something's uncomfortable because you don't have that normal, grin that's kind of plastered on our faces. At least that's what I've experienced in my life. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Maybe like people just like maybe they feel more comfortable like when we're smiling. So when we're not smiling, they kind of get on back goes up. Maybe
I always wonder why people don't allow me to be upset about anything. Like if I'm ever in my head about something, people are like, "Why are you so upset?" I'm like, "Hey, just leave me alone.
I'm about to breathe and think for a second."
Right, exactly. So you get me. That's what I'm saying. If you smile too much, it makes people feel like you always smiling, and so the one time you're not, it's gonna draw attention. At least that's what I've experienced.
I'm thinking about my mom. I don't know if I said it on this pod before, but I've definitely mentioned something that she would put on my warning label is that I think that I'm a know-it-all. I know I am. And so she used to say to me all the time growing up, is like, "Chantele, not everybody's as smart as you are." And I'm like, well, then don't hang out with me.
No, look, most people think I'm stupid. So actually, I don't ever get that. But I think the warning label probably says like he wants you to think he's stupid. Just like what I'm saying, like he's good with that. Okay. So I thought that was a great question. We get Carousel saying her warning label would say she finds out everything.
I can find out everything too.
I kind of be like that sometimes too. Like when I want some information, I can go get it. I know how to get it,
And people come to me and ask for it. They're like, okay, can you help me find someone?
Oh yeah, no, you one of them trackers. I see. Okay. One of like the FBI agents on the Instagram accounts. You be checking everybody's accounts and scrolling through the photos, the tag photos, all that stuff.
Of course, I can find anybody. If I just need a couple pieces of information, a name and maybe a state or province and maybe an industry of work.
But without it, you'd be all right too.
Exactly. But this would make it easy. But like it might take a little longer if I have less information. But
yeah, understood. This one also stood out to me. Destiny says she believes in everything, particularly ghost, but basically her warning label is that she's not closed-minded to things that are not directly in front of you that you can't like see with the visible eye or with the naked eye. And I feel this. I'm not really like, it's not that I believe everything, but I'm very open-minded. Like I'm not gonna close my mind off to things that I don't understand. Because I mean, I just don't feel like I have enough. I don't really think I'm that smart. But I don't have that much information. Like, who am I to be so conceited to think that I can understand all these things? Right. Exactly. So that's kind of how I feel. Yeah, like that doesn't feel like it's for me,
I totally understand her thinking of that being a red flag, and I can even put myself in that category because, I have come from a psychic family. I believe and study astrology, and these are a lot of things that a lot of people have negative experiences with or don't know much about, and so they kind of poo-poo on it a little bit. And so I can see that being a red flag to somebody, like being like, oh, like an astrology girly, that means that she's, doesn't believe in reality or something like that. And I'd be like, you know what I mean? They might just think it's a red flag. So I can understand that one.
Arian does pop for Destiny's because he says, I don't really believe in the supernatural. And he loses Serafina in this match too, because Serafina says she's a certified yapper, guilty. But she also believes in, stuff that you might not understand at first glance, Arian. And so Serafina pops. And then so does Carousel. She's like, I'm not a skeptic either. And so very quickly, we're down to just Nelson. And so again, Nelson, who will tell us, I'm not trying to be your first person. Your first significant other, your first relationship, says this in the final round. Like he's right here about to get chosen. It says, I'm a pop because of that. Sir, you could have popped your balloon 15 minutes ago and saved us all some time.
Absolutely. But maybe, like I said, that he just wanted to get to the end to have his moment to like pop his balloon. He does seem to be like a little bit of a red flag. Sometimes his answers were leading to like, I just felt like he's like a bit of a player and a bit of like, he has a lot of, what was his story that he told? Was it for one of these first two people or was it after?
No, we'll get to it. Apparently he's got a little freaky side to himself, I guess. Yeah. He said, oh yeah, that was the thing. It was his warning label says that his friends would say he's spontaneous and adventurous. And when he says adventurous, he means he once had sex in an army tank when in Afghanistan, I think it was.
I mean, what did he say at the end? He said,
what about?
No, he had like a salute at the end. Like he said, like Geronimo, or I can't remember what he said.
He said, it's going down. He's yelling timber. I believe those were Kesha lyrics.
Timber. Oh, it's going down. Oh, no.
Yeah, that one. Oh, yeah. It went down.
Actually, I danced at a bar, but
you would?
you would, dude. It's not bad.
No one is surprised. But yeah. Arian said that, prior to him wanting to get in a relationship, his whore flag had been waving a little bit. And that felt like it did turn Nelson off, but Nelson was always going to pop his balloon because he didn't want to be Arian's first relationship.
Right. And I do think that he might be a little, well, I mean, also, I would imagine that I could be wrong, so I don't know. But in a male-male relationship, if it's his first male-male relationship, there would be a lot of maybe things that Nelson would need to teach him and stuff like that. I don't know. So maybe, yeah, he doesn't want to take on that responsibility of basically being his first. Like, I don't know if he's a virgin. He might not be a virgin. Did he say he's a virgin?
It don't sound like it. No, he said his whore flag was waving, and I don't think you can have a whore flag if you're not doing whore things. I think you can't just get that flag to everybody. That's all I was saying.
Okay. But anyways, like, I can understand maybe a little bit more in a male-male same-sex relationship, not wanting to be each other's first. I don't know. But I don't know anything really about that world deeply, of course.
Yeah. Well, no pops there. Well, no locks there. We get a pop, and we have to move on to our third dater. And I know you're excited to talk about this third dater because I didn't even know they were single. We get Cody, my brother Cody's brother, from Big Brother, from the challenge, from social media, from OnlyFans, and all the other places. We get Paulie Califiore. And I didn't even know him and Cara Maria weren't together. I don't keep up with the challenge that closely.
Well, okay, I had well, there was some speculation when 40 was airing that they unfollowed each other. But then they were both saying like, no, nothing's changed, whatever. So there was already kind of a rumor kind of going around that they had broken up, but none of them had made like their notes app statement yet, And so I didn't necessarily see them that they were together or not together specifically. But then she was also making those comments that people weren't really appreciative of with her political stance and such. And so maybe that's something that pushed him away because she was kind of discrediting the trans community as part of the LGBTQ2+. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that have been going on with Cara Maria right now that maybe he decided to like take a step back from that relationship, or they might be in a poly relationship. I mean, his name is Paulie, but they might be polyamorous.
Well, he did say he just got out of a long-term relationship, so I assume he meant Cara Maria, but maybe it was a +1 in their relationship. But I felt like it was Cara.
Yeah, it did seem like Cara because he said in the public eye as well.
Exactly, yeah. And so, look, if they broke up because of what she's been saying online and about the trans community and whatever, then good for him. I don't know. I personally, to me, it's a deal breaker if we don't have similar values when it comes to human rights. And like, hey, you out here trying to oppress somebody, you can kick rocks. And so I think that's pretty big of him to, if that's the case. But that said, he says his red flags are jealousy, possessiveness, and control. But he does like vulnerability and expression. Chantele, of these daters, is it reasonable to believe that none of them knew who Paulie Califiore was?
It's reasonable to believe this. You think that everybody knew who he was?
I don't know. Because even with Johnny Bananas, we didn't have anybody just outwardly say that they knew who he was. But what I'm getting at is, if you know who Paulie Califiore is, I feel like this is a quick pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the Big Brother Paulie stuff was crazy. The stuff we've seen on the challenge has been very interesting to say the least. They stuck it out, but when I tell you, I was like, Paulie, like I flinched. I didn't know, like.
Well, I was like, from Big Brother, I'm like, who are they bringing on? When I saw him, I was like, what? No, he's also been doing the rounds, it seems. So he was on Vanderpump Villa with Cara. So they must have filmed that within the last year, I believe. Maybe even less. You know what Vanderpump Villa is?
No, I just know Vanderpump rules exist. I don't know anything about the Villa.
Okay, so Lisa Vanderpump, she started another similar show where she has guests coming to a chateau in France. And so it's all about her staff at this chateau and then all the guests that come to this big castle. And so Paulie and Cara Maria were guests at this castle in this season that's airing right now, or just finished airing the reunion. And so it just seems like he's around right now. And I'm like, who's asking for him? Am I missing something? Because I really don't like him, and I never really want to see him on my TV. And I was giving him another chance on 40, and he flopped. So I don't need him.
Yeah, I got a good dislike into Paulie Califiore on Big Brother. And then in recent years, I've been trying to open my mind to people changing and stuff like that. And so I've been giving him a lot more grace when it comes to being on my television screen. So I will say that. But as far as like being a fan, I mean, he dug his hole in Big Brother. You know what I'm saying? Like in Big Brother, I just like this person, I could never see them again. I'd be okay. But like I said, I think that he's kind of reinvented himself a little bit recently, maybe in the last like 5-6 years or so. And then he's back on the challenge doing things. I don't really know where he stands right now. But like when he walked out, my first thought was, that's not Paulie, because why would you put, and I was like, oh, it is Paulie. That's crazy, because pop.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
I mean, I'm happy that they popped for that dangly earring. You know how we feel about those.
Woo! We got a couple people pop for the dangly earrings.
The two prettiest girls on the set, in my opinion.
Right. So Winnie popped, and I was like, I'd have ripped that earring out my ear. Girl, it's gone. Don't wait. Yeah. So Destiny popped. She said he lives too far. He's like talking about how he's from Minnesota and Florida. She's from LA. So Serafina pops because he's from,
it's
Montana. Listen, same.
But Montana and Florida are both red states, right?
Florida definitely is. So I have to assume Montana is. Yeah. And they're from LA. So they're probably like, no, we're not doing that. I mean, we see Damian, he will pop. He says he's from Florida, and I just don't do Florida. Now, again, Damian is 23. Paulie, you should have popped his balloon first. Like, you don't have no business over there with no 23-year-old man. Well, get away from him. Like, it's just like, 40. So yeah, that's like some of this guy, you gotta stop. Oh, he's not almost 40. He's 34. But regardless, Paulie? It's too big of a gap. Yeah, he said he was 34 in the episode.
Is he lying? He's not that young. So he was younger than Cara?
I don't know how old Cara Maria is. I have no clue.
She's definitely almost 40.
I mean, that's not a huge shocker for me. Let me see. Yeah, she's 38.
No, he's 36. So he lied.
Oh, yeah. I thought he said he was. Oh, okay. I definitely thought he said he was 34. But yeah, 36. So yeah, still way too old for this 23-year-old. I'm sorry. Let me speak out and be the one to say, like, get away from him. Aleka pops. Noe pops. She says she got the ick from the earrings and the way that he called Winnie a little Amazonian. She said, I'm a big Amazonian. There was, look, the one thing Paulie got, he's got some charisma. I thought he had a good rapport with all of the people up there. I got
the ick, though, when I agree with her with getting the ick when he said, like, oh, like me a little Amazonian. I was like, it sounded a little bit fetishy and a little bit like, I didn't appreciate it. She let it roll off her back for sure, but I didn't like it either. I was like, ugh. Could be also he is Nick. I don't know, but I just don't.
She's also very tall, and so she probably gets stuff like that a lot. You know, like, oh, I want to climb you, or people calling her a tree or something like that. She probably gets stupid shit like that all the time.
I know he's only 5'7", and she looks like she's like 5'10", and she's wearing heels.
And Noe says below 5'10" is a friend, and Paulie is too short for him. Now, mind you, Noe is probably shorter than Paulie, but he's like, I'm not looking for no short dude, so he pops as well. Have you ever heard that before? Below 5'10" is a friend.
I like it. I've never heard it before. Never. But like, below 5'10" is a friend. I might use it for something else that rhymes. I might steal it and revamp it, but I never heard it before and I like it. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you got height, so you don't have to.
No, I don't get discriminated against because of my height. It's the one thing God gave me and was like, okay, you be all right, but like there's definitely some what is it? What do you call it? Humble traits that I got that we don't got to talk about right now. So Paulie ends up down to Nelson and Carousel. And he asked for them, what are the vibe killers? Nelson says disrespect. And I thought, well, you don't want to be around Paulie. Like, what? Have you met this man? Have you seen his confessionals? Have you seen Big Brother? I think this is a pop. But again, maybe he's different outside of TV.
Fair. And I'm curious because we do find out that like Paulie shares with the audience that he learned that he was bisexual on I can't remember which season of the challenge was. It was one of the spin-offs, I believe. And I'm just curious, like, if has been dating men this time, or would actually he be this first man that he was dating? Because, like, as you've just been attracted to. So I'm just curious as to whether this is a first male relationship for Paulie to be delving into, or if he's had some experience there before. Because he's with Kari for so long, but I do think they were polyamorous, but I don't know. It seems complicated.
Yeah, that's probably a good point, right? Like, he's probably dated, but probably while he was dating Kara as well, and so who knows? But Carousel says that she doesn't like the Karen vibes, like people like, oh, I need to speak to a manager, and so Paulie says, all right, I have to pick between the two of you, and I'm feeling more from Nelson, and he says, I'm just not really doing the women thing right now, and so I felt like I didn't know if that was him saying like, hey, after Cara Maria, I'm not really doing the women thing for a little bit, or him and Cara are still tight knit, and he's able to go and venture out. Because to me, I just never knew them to be single, you know. So this was all news to me. So I was trying to make it make sense in my head.
That's a good point. That he's allowed to experiment with somebody that can give him something that Cara Maria couldn't. So maybe they have opened their relationship up in that way, that they're allowed to experience same sex relationship outside their relationship, but male female they'll keep towards themselves. Okay,
yeah, maybe. I'm just speculating, because I just was like, oh, I did, you know, it's such a public relationship that I felt like if they were broken up, we would know.
There was rumors, so if they are, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so he goes off with Nelson, and personally, it just felt like he just picked somebody. Like, you know, like, did you feel like a lot of chemistry between the two of them?
How many times have we felt any chemistry with anybody? I did feel a little bit with Demi and
Demi and everybody.
Winnie.
With
Demi, I thought could have maybe had like a bit of a vibe, you know.
Yeah. But this was nothing. Like, it just felt like, okay, they seemed like they was kind of cool. They talked a little bit. Paulie says he travels for work. Nelson said he's in LA, but he's kind of, I don't know, kind of on the fence about the long distance thing. Paulie talks about hosting events and boxing. And Nelson says that
doesn't Paulie also do sex retreats?
I don't know. Does he?
Yeah, I think so.
What's a sex retreat? Like, what
do
you
like? I don't know. I think it's under like the guise of like working out, but I feel like everybody's having sex with each other.
At the workout retreat? That's what them Herbalife conferences be? Okay, nasty. Freaky frogs. I'm not judging. I'm just highlighting that this is freaky as hell.
I think so. But okay. I'm not 100%. Maybe some retreats are more salacious than others.
Okay, listen, post some videos. So Nelson says this is a lock, and they have, they have now chosen each other. We don't get any follow up on them at all. We don't see them backstage and talking. So we will just hope that they have connected. I don't know. I just didn't get a lot from them together. But our final data, Effie, 28, former pro figure skater who does music. Now Effie is coming in a little bit. She's kind of quiet delivery, you know, she seemed very almost like a little timid, but you could tell this is an act. This lady is putting on an act. There's a lot more fire in Effie to be
she got called out by Yvonne as well, when she's like, see, like, except I could be a fiery Latina, and she had a little bit of attitude, and Yvonne was like, who's she? Right. I kind of wish that she just was herself.
Yeah.
Would that have been interesting? Like, she was cute though.
But I think it's like a persona that you use to disarm people, you know, like, hey, it's just me, da da da. And then as you start to get more comfortable, you start letting people into the real you. And then, things there might be a little crazy in the real her.
See, well, for me, it wouldn't work for me, even like on like a friend level. That like I like people that are kind of open and real, and I can see who they actually are, because like that's how you vibe, and you can see if you have a vibe with somebody. So if someone's putting on some mask and that's not who they are, like there's no way that we're gonna vibe because you're not a real person. So
right,
I wish she was just herself because she's cute.
Yeah, and she says she hasn't been with anyone in 3 years. And she wants someone who will treat her like a princess and who is financially stable. And so we get some pops because her red flag is broke. And we got a broke person and we got some princesses who want to be treated like princesses. So Winnie's out. She says, I'm tired of being in the lead. I want to be the princess. Alexa says, I'm looking for somebody more dominant. And Camille, our new dater on the panel, says she's broke and she cannot afford her. So what did you think about this response to wanting somebody to treat her like a princess, but them already wanting to be the princess in the relationship? Maybe there can't be two.
Well, her stating that is basically saying that she wants masculine energy. And I was actually watching, I don't know if I talked to you about this person on TikTok, and this guy that's kind of like a dating coach a little bit. He talks about like manifestation and anyways, he talks about dating though in the sense that if you want a masculine man, you're going to have to be sitting in your feminine, an equal amount of feminine to an equal amount of masculine. And what he was suggesting is on a dating app to put like for one of the prompts, like I'll pay for our first date or the first drinks if, and he says that you should write if you slide over your credit card or something to that extent, right? And he's like, it will weed out anybody that's not financially viable right now, that's not sitting in that type of masculine energy, because it is by nature that the male energy wants to be the provider in that kind of way. And so I can understand her kind of throwing that out there to weed out anybody is not able to step into that type of masculine role for her. So I'm not completely against it. I think she could have maybe worded it to sound a little bit like a little nicer, but
she said what she said.
It's a little bit harsh, but I think it did its job, like weeding out people that would immediately not be able to have that balance that she's looking for.
Chantele, is broke a red flag for you?
They have to have ambition still. Like they need a plan, right? I need moving forward.
You're like, yeah, actionable items.
like broke as in like you've never had any money before, broke because you invested in something and you're working to, you know what I mean? Depends the type of broke that you are. So it could be though a red flag because it could be lack of motivation. It could be poor spending habit. Like, there could be red flags around why they're broke. So I'd need more information for sure.
When I'm broke, I take myself out of the running. I pop my own balloon. I don't like to be around people when I don't have no money. I just don't like. That's not for me. If I don't have no money, I'm going home. I'm going where it's free to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be outside. I don't want to go to stuff if I'm broke. I will deal breaker myself out of here in a heartbeat because I don't want you asking me to do stuff that I can't afford. I don't like to disappoint people, so I definitely don't want to tell you like, oh, I can't go do that. I can't do that. I can't.
And then for them to say like, well, don't worry, I'll pay for it. And you'll be like,
right.
Absolutely
not. I would rather be dead. You are not paying for me to do anything, like unless we are paying for each other to do stuff, but just you footing the bill. Like, listen, was there a time where I would love to be taken care of? Sure. But no, not now. I'm a grown ass man. Like I got to have my own. So yeah, broke is funny, but broke is also a deal breaker for me. Don't bring your broke ass over here. You ain't got no money. Like I'm not paying for everything. I'm not out here trying to. I'm living for me. I can't live for us. You got to have a job, like you said. You got to have some ambition, or you need to focus on you until you can afford to kick it. Because I like to do stuff. I like to go outside.
Yeah, I love doing stuff.
Yeah. Like being like to travel.
Yeah. Like I not that I judge, but I love just being like, yeah, let's just go do this. And then say yes. Because I like doing stuff. I like adventure. I like trying new things. Right. So I need somebody that doesn't have money to be holding them back. So not that I'm like the richest person on the planet right now, but like I do like to spend money. And so if someone's not comfortable with spending money, that would be a problem.
That's my favorite thing about money is spending it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point. Like you get it.
Spending money so much.
Other people. Yeah.
There's nothing I like more than spending money.
I have to have it to spend it, but when I tell you, when I get it, I'm like, who do I give this to so I can do stuff? So
like,
yeah,
I'm just shopping on like, what can I buy to send to like presents come to the door? Yeah, no, I love buying things.
Yeah. So now she moves on to where she kind of reveals her crazy. She says, I'm Latina, and it gets a little wild. But what's the most toxic thing you have done to get someone's attention? Chantele, the question is coming to you. I hope you thought about it. I hope you did your homework. What is the most toxic thing you've ever done to get someone's attention?
Toxic? I don't know if it's toxic or like just like
I'll tell you if it's
embarrassing.
toxic.
It's just embarrassing.
I'll let you know.
It's embarrassing.
Okay, we'll see.
Um, so it's okay. I went to an art school, right?
Okay.
And so like I end up just writing like a kind of like a cheeky, fun poem, like limerick type thing to this person, and I gave it to them. So it's not that crazy. It's just really embarrassing because it didn't work.
Yeah, that's not toxic at all. That's
I
not
don't really,
toxic.
I'm not really that toxic that I can think of. But okay, you tell me yours, and then I'll see if I can think of a better one.
Okay, well, I don't know. So I think my toxic trait is that I like to breadcrumb. I like for people to think that I like them. I love that. I love that. I love that. Like you think I like you, don't you? I like to like reel people in. It's just it's something I do. Like it might be like I can tell they like me and I'm just like letting them think that there's a chance, or like I'm actively going out of my way to make them think that I like them. And I don't know why. But like they said, it's toxic and it's for attention, but it's something that it's like a switch I have. Like if I want you to think that I'm in love with you, you will think it. I don't necessarily have to I don't necessarily have to reciprocate those feelings at all, but I could get you to think like, okay, Chappelle's into me. And I don't know why, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the allure of people being like, because I think when people think you like them, they like you back. And I think like it's like, okay, they start to like really push toward me. And so I can feel you pulling toward my gravity. And what am I gonna do? Continue to be aloof. And that is my like superpower. I will be like, what? You like me? What are you talking about? What did happen? Me?
Toxic man.
It is. I don't do it all the time. And it was definitely one of my younger traits for sure. I think it has recently resurfaced. I will say that, but it's mostly because I'm not looking for a relationship right now. But I do like people, so I love talking to people. And if I'm not careful, I will I don't even call it flirting. I just think that like if I'm not careful, I can be very engaging, I guess I will say. And like that is like my super villain power is that like if I want to, I can be very engaging. I can make you think I'm your best friend in a heartbeat.
I can't believe I can't think of anything more toxic that I've done. Maybe as like bartending. I've definitely used
part of the job. That's part of the job. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the ones that they have. So Carousel, she knew her ex was cheating. And so what she did was she found the receipts. She screenshot them and then she made the receipts the background on his phone so that he would see that she knew that he was cheating. I don't think that's toxic. I think that now it's only toxic if she stayed. If she stayed with him after finding out she was cheating and she made this great display, then she is now the problem. Because now she is there to loom that over that man's head. She is not there to work it out. She is there to make sure that he is miserable for cheating on her. And so that's when like the toxic levels is where you go after this. You know, if you got out, then this isn't toxic.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm like, oh, that's kind of genius.
Like a little bit, yeah.
Like be like, oh, like that would be very, very like, yeah. But I agree with you that if she stayed, then it's definitely like playing this like toxic dance of like, I see what you're doing, and we're gonna fight and get back together. Like, yeah, it could be a part of a cycle. So I like the action. That could be my toxic trait. I don't know, but you know, we don't know if she stayed or if she left, so it's also kind of funny.
Yeah. Destiny stalked somebody from their fake account and accidentally ran into them on purpose. I don't have a fake account. I don't know anybody who does. Chantele, I know you are an investigator online. Did you ever need to create a burner so that you can get into any access into anybody's like friend requests?
I might have, maybe, or like maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's pretty toxic.
I mean, it's not great, Chantele, but
it's not my boyfriend. It's not right.
It's not for you. So you've never had to investigate one of your own significant others.
I mean, I'm definitely. Is that toxic? Like just going in and like,
I mean,
knowing the truth?
How far are you going to get the truth, Chantele? That's the toxic part. Like, is it just I looked at your page, or is it I logged into my secret account and then added your mama so I could go through her photos because I didn't see you in any. I didn't see you in any tag photos. Chantele!
Maybe, or maybe like being like I can't like a non. I think I might have done that actually, but this has been a long time ago.
You're like not recently.
Definitely like a decade ago, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe even 15 years. Like I don't know.
Okay, look. You might not be in your toxic era. Let's find out. So Noe says he knew that his ex was going to a college in Arizona. So what he did was he applied to the same exact college and got accepted just so he could post the acceptance letter on the social media and say, "Hey, heading off to Arizona to the same exact college as his ex," just because he wanted his ex to think he was going to show up in one of his classes. That's diabolical.
Toxic. That's like, diabolical. That's a lot of thought going in there of like evil.
Like I like it.
It's like that's a lot of work though. And that's what I think is. That's why I think it's a little like you like it, but like that's kind of psycho, right?
It is.
Like it's a bit too far. Like you do that in a plot of a movie. You don't do that in real life. That's so much work.
If the application fee is free, then you do it. You know, because if it costs you no money and all you got to do is send off a transcript, whatever. But if it's like
you just have to like write an essay.
Yeah, if you gotta write an admissions essay, that's crazy. You get a recommendation letter and
not go.
Yeah,
it's like a lot of work just to make him have the fear that maybe you're gonna be in his class. Like he must. I think he made it up.
Yeah, I don't think he made it up. Damien says he's never gone out his way to get someone's attention. He's just like, it's just not that serious. As far as getting someone's attention, yeah, if I thought about it, because I'm a big energy. I know that if I want to take up a lot of space, I can. I've definitely been a person who will take up space in a room where I know I'm not wanted to get someone's attention. You know, like where I walk in, I might see an ex and it gets, that tension where it's like, oh, I haven't talked to you in a while.
You're not going to shrivel. You're going to fucking...
I'm going to become the life of the party. Yeah. Like I'm going to make you're not going to ignore me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ignore you. I'm acting like I don't see you, but you're not going to have a better time than I'm having at this function that both of us are miserable at. That's just not happening.
Agreed.
So yeah, I kind of relate to that a little bit. So she pops for Destiny and she says they know each other. They never say how though.
LA? Like, I don't know.
I mean, the people act like LA is small. There's a billion people there.
Maybe there's like a bisexual scene, lesbian scene, lesbian music scene. I don't know.
But like, have y'all met? Do y'all know each other? Like, I wanted more information. I really felt like
she asked in the biblical sense, and our dater didn't know what that meant. I was like,
right. She's asking if y'all was bumping uglies. Have y'all got down with the get down? We didn't get any answers. I didn't like that.
I do want to know this. Like, are we doing exit interviews for the show?
Right. We got to get some questions going. That would be fun, though. If we could get some interviews for these people and just ask them about their overall experience and then, like, if anything came from it, that would be so cool. Some of these people are reality stars, so that I'm sure they wouldn't be against it. And then some of these people probably would love a little extra fame from their Netflix show. So I don't know. Maybe we reach out to Netflix and see what's happening.
You want to talk to Paulie?
No.
See how his date went?
I need concrete answers. I'm gonna be like, so are you and Cara Maria still together? Yes or no? Like that's what I want. I want it on record because I'm definitely nosy enough to ask. Yes. So, she ends up popping no and just says she wasn't feeling him. So we get Carousel. She gets to ask her a question. She says, "Are you the jealous type?" And she's like, "No, not jealous." And then Serafina asks, "Where friendships fall in their priorities?" And she says her friends are her families. Chantele, you have a lot of friends. Is this like one of those things where like your significant other is going to know your friends are a part of your family, and that is just a thing that's unavoidable?
For sure. That's like, I think that's something for me. It's like, if you can't get along with my friends, that's going to be a problem because then you're not getting along with me, I do feel like they're a big representation of me. And if that doesn't work, then we don't work.
Spice Girls famously said that if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. which I always thought was very interesting, but now I kind of get it. You know, like, oh, okay.
You're like, not get them like that.
Yeah, but like this, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I can't let you in my circle if you can't be in my circle, you know? So it makes
Like,
sense.
I want you to be able to hold your own. I want them to, like, want to be around you. I want you to become their friend as well. Like, my best friend's husband loves me. He's like, he comes and sits and hangs out with me. You know what I mean? Like, if it didn't work, then it wouldn't work.
Right. No, I totally agree. Damien, he says he's big on, I'm sorry, Damian. He says he's big on self-improvement and skincare. And he asks, what's her daily regimen like before the first 3 things she does when she gets out of bed? Chantele, you got a morning skincare routine you want to let us in on? Because people are always in the comments talking about how beautiful your skin is.
Oh God, I don't want to disappoint people, but I don't.
Oh, she said it's natural. I woke up like this.
Natural. I did wake up like this. I do drink a glass of water as soon as I wake up, for sure. So hydration is also very good for skin. So I try to be quite hydrated. And so I have like a subscription to Ipsy and BoxyCharm, which is these cosmetic subscriptions. And so I always get like random cleansers or whatnot, which are all very good, but I don't have a specific like routine. So like right now I'm using like this thing to like, to exfoliate my face. But like when this is done, I actually really liked it. So I might buy this again, but I don't have any specific brands or things that I love. It's kind of like what I get into this box that I like.
Okay, yeah. My morning routine is I'm like an old man. I wake up and I take like 18 pills. It's normally just like but it's like supplements, right? It's like I do my vitamins and I'll do my allergy medicine and then I'll do my, this medicine, then I'll do this. Like I just like, but first before I even get out the bed good, I'm like, oh God, I gotta eat the ashwagandha and I gotta do this and I gotta do this. It's like a whole thing. It takes me too long to get out of bed. But once I get out of bed, no, the ritual is fast. Like I don't really have a skincare routine for the morning. But if I'm about to go out somewhere, I'm doing like the cleanser, the toner, all that good stuff. Jacob Jones taught me. He sent me some tips. He
has nice skin. Mm-hmm.
Jacob Jones has all the skincare, like Adam at what is he? Air? on Instagram and everything. Go, ask Jacob Jones about his skincare routine. He'll lace you up. But this was good for Damian. She says what she likes to do is shop, travel, read, and drink for fun.
I feel like about music. Solid. I thought she was gonna say music at least.
Yeah, right? No, she's just like, this is fun. This is fun. I guess that's work. I don't know. Shop, travel, read, drink. That sounds solid, right? We can get down with that.
Yep, I'm in. Like I don't like shopping like in person.
Oh my God, me neither. I hate them all.
I like shopping online. Like I don't want to go to the mall necessarily. Like if I'll do it, but I don't. If I'm there, I might browse and look. I will not try anything on. If I purchase, I'll just guesstimate the size. And if I don't like it, I'll bring it back. But like, I'm not getting into a change room. Like that's like
you be trying to get in and out. Yeah, you be trying to get in and out of there.
I want to browse. I just want to look and then maybe buy, but not try.
So I'm a horrible packer when I travel. So most times when I travel, I end up at a mall. You name a trip that you and I have done, I definitely went and bought clothes on every one of those trips. It's just a hallmark. But it's not because I love to shop. It's because I don't have any clothes. And so when I go on a trip, I got to find something to wear for the trip. And it's just easier if I could just grab something off of a shelf. So I would say that okay, fine. I can respect that as well. So it comes down to Serafina. And she says, as long as we can both be princesses in this relationship, then we're good. And they agree. Effie says that works for her. And it's a lock. She keeps Serafina. And we have another match in this episode. So what is that? 2 matches in this episode? 3?
3.
We had Paulie. We had Demi. And we have Effie. So 3 matches out of 4 in this episode. That's solid.
Yeah, do you think that Winnie is going to come back as a main dater?
She should. Or she shouldn't. Or she should just stay single until she runs into a guy in Houston, Okay. Just saying.
Okay, maybe I'll slide into her DMs on your behalf.
Now, why the hell you gonna do that? If you go give her the ick, just be like, yeah, my friend want to holler at you. Yeah, thanks, Chantele. Now she gonna block me just off of principle. Get away from her. Chantele, this was so much fun. But I have to ask, was this episode a pop or a lock?
Where's my balloon? I think
We don't have
I
a
think
balloon.
I do, but I haven't blown it up yet. I don't know.
You gonna blow it up? Well, while Chantele is blowing up our balloon, make sure y'all tune in every week to Recap Kickback, where we have a ton of content coming your way. We just had me and Mari talking about the Met Gala and what was coming up new in May this month. G and I have already finished our Abbott Elementary coverage, but we might have some more stuff coming your way soon. And then, of course, Chantele and I are here every week, at least for one more week, Chantele, for Pop the Balloon. Is it only 6 episodes?
I don't know. They're not making anything very clear. I think they left it open, so like if it's a hit, they'll go with it. If it's not, they're like, pop.
Yeah, well, we might be back for one more episode next week. We'll definitely be back next week. Now, the question is, will we be back 2 weeks from now? Tune in to find out. And Chantele, go ahead and answer our question. Is pop or lock?
I blew that balloon up, so I could hold it, maybe. Wait, what do you think?
Oh, no.
What do you think?
I mean, we got 3 out of 4 matches, no?
Yeah, but did you enjoy yourself?
You're like, but I don't respect them. Yeah.
How'd you feel? I don't have a good.
I feel like it's good. Listen, it could be a pop. I wasn't getting too much chemistry with people.
It's a pop.
Yeah, it's a pop.
It's a pop.
The name of the episode was I'm Unpoppable, but that seems to not be the case. We popped the balloon, and so we will be back next week to see if we're gonna pop some more. Chantele, thank you again. Tell everybody what you're working on and where they can find you in the meantime.
Ooh, on Instagram at ChanFranFran, or on my channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's on YouTube. I actually did some coverage for Top Chef, the most recent season that was filmed in Toronto. I got to be a diner, as well as Haley at Restaurant Wars. So I did talk with her and Kurt Clark on the Top Chef recap with RHAP. So check that out. And then I also did a retrospective for BB19 with Taryn. So we just did that a couple days ago. So check that out as well. And I should be popping up a couple more times next week. So I'll be around.
Okay. All right. You heard it here first. Check out Chantele in all those places. Make sure you check out her BB retrospective as well. And then, of course, tune in every week to recapkickback.com and Nothing But Netflix. Go to nothingbutpod.com to keep up with what we have going on over there. We just talked about Untold Shooting Guards on Netflix with the Duo Sports and Stuff podcast. Came and joined me over there on Nothing But Netflix. And then we got some new Netflix content coming your way soon. And so make sure you check that out on Nothing But Netflix. And then stay tuned every week here on Recap Kickback for what we have coming up. But until next time, you ain't got to go home, but we will catch you all around the corner to pop some more balloons. Peace.
I've been trapped behind Maria, isolated like it's North Korea. Smaller city with some bigger dreams. The wall is cracked, I'm looking in between it. The world is yours, but man, I gotta see it. They say it's hard, but man, I gotta see it. The air I'm breathing can't feel my chest. Wait on life, I wanna hold my breath. I'ma get in my goddamn self.